Once again, good morning, students. I will invite Harun sir to start the session.
Thank you, ma'am. Hello, everyone. Good morning. So, students, today we'll quickly complete vectors then so that we are ready for kinematics tomorrow. All right. So, there are two things left: cross product, some numericals, and division of vectors. Let's only talk about division of vectors for a minute. All right. Now, uh, all right, we were talking about algebraically how to find out the dot product of two vectors algebraically. Geometrically, we have seen one is a projection of the other, and we have seen all those projections. Why is it called a projection product? But right now, let's see algebraically how to manipulate vectors to find out the dot product. Ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap dot bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. I get the dot product by multiplying the corresponding components of I cap, j cap, and k cap. Ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. This is my dot product, which is a scalar. All right. For instance, I've got two vectors, 3i cap, 2i cap, minus 4j cap, 3i cap, is one vector. B cap is given by 2, minus 3, and minus 6. Find the dot product of these two vectors. How do you find the dot product? I multiply the corresponding components of I cap, j cap, and k cap. So A dot B is 6i cap minus 6j cap plus 24.
K cap.
Sorry. 6 minus 6 plus 24. 6 and minus 6 get cancelled out. What remains is minus plus 24. Is my voice clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, Gayatri. So 2 into 3 is 6. 2 into minus 3 is minus 6. Minus 4 into minus 6 is plus 24. This gets cancelled out. I get 24 as a result, which is a dot product. All right. Now, if I were to find the angle between two vectors, see, dot product is nothing but AB cos theta. Is nothing but 24 now. In this case, AB cos theta is 24. If I want to find out cos theta or theta, what do? Theta is equal to 24 by mod A mod B. What is mod A? 3 square plus 2 square plus 4 square under root. Right? The length of the vector A, mod A, is ax square plus ay square plus z square under root. So that would be 9 plus 4, 13. 13 plus 16.
29.
Root 29. Yeah, thank you. And mod B, how much is mod B, students?
Root 49.
That is 7.
Yes, sir.
Right, length. So I'm just taking the positive 7. So my answer would be 24 by root 29 into 7. Cos inverse of this one is my theta. So if at all I have to find out theta, angle between two vectors, what I do? I take the dot product, divide that by mod A and mod B. What I get is cos theta. Cos inverse of that is theta. All right. Okay, now this is a simple proof. Let's see how do we prove an equation, a relation. Students, you will have a backlog class, so don't worry. Once kinematics starts, you can parallelly do kinematics and vectors and basic maths from the recorded sessions and also backlog classes. So don't worry about that. So if kinematics starts, we'll be on the same page. Everyone can follow kinematics parallelly with backlog classes. All right. Look at this, students. This is a simple algebraic manipulation. A plus two, there are two vectors A and B. I've got two vectors A and B. Dot product of these two. I'm adding A plus 2B and 2A minus 3B. Dot product of these two is to be found out. How do I do? It's distributive property. So what I do is A dot 2A bar, A bar dot 2A bar minus A bar dot 3B bar plus 2B bar dot 2A bar minus 2B bar dot 3B bar. All right. So what is 2 is a constant. So I can write 2 times A dot A minus 3 times A dot B plus 4 times B dot A minus 6 times B dot B. What is A dot A, students? A dot A is nothing but mod A cos of angle between them, which is 0 degrees. Angle between angle between a vector with itself is 0 degrees. Two equal vectors, angle between them is 0 degrees. So cos 0 is 1, which is nothing but A square. So A dot A is A square. Similarly, B dot B is B square. So I'll write 2A square minus, I know A dot B is equal to B dot A. It's commutative. Dot product is commutative. All right, Bhavna, I'll do it. Dot product is commutative. Cross product is anti-commutative. A dot B is equal to B dot A. But A cross B is equal to minus B cross A. All right. Over here, I've got two vectors A and B. Given two vectors A and B, A and B, A bar and B bar. I have to find the dot product of these two vectors. A plus 2B and 2A minus 3B. There are two vectors, right? A plus 2B is one vector, 2A minus 3B is one vector. I have to find the dot product of these two vectors. What is dot product of these two? Simplify and find out the dot product of these two vectors. All right, I'm just showing the distributive property and how to manipulate, how to get A dot A and B dot A, and that it's commutative. These to exemplify these, I've chosen this example. So A dot A is A square minus 3 A dot B plus 4 B dot A. So that would be how much? B dot plus A dot B plus A dot B, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus 6 B square. So this is A dot B. So 2A square plus AB cos theta minus 6B square is the dot product of these two vectors. All right, everything in terms of magnitude and angle between them. All right, this could be anything. I just chosen some random two vectors, which is plus 2B bar and A2A minus 3B bar. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's look at another example. I and j are unit vectors along x and y direction, right? That we already know. When that is the case, I have to find the magnitude and direction of I plus j and I minus j. Whenever possible, draw the vectors. All right. If drawing vectors is not possible, it's taking time, then go for algebraic manipulation. Else, drawing vectors makes much sense. It will improve your understanding of the problem. So I've got two vectors, unit vectors I cap and j cap along x and y. He's asking me what is the magnitude and direction of I plus j and I minus j. This is I plus j, I minus j. So this is the first vector he's asking, I plus j. The second vector which is asking I minus j, I minus j. Right? This is I plus j. First is I plus j. Second is I minus j. So in the Pythagoras theorem itself, we can tell this. If this is 1, this is 1, this is root 2. So magnitude is root 2 in both the cases. But the angle is 45 with x-axis, 45 with negative x-axis. All right, Akshaya. All right. All right, I'll tell you, Shurandi, what is happening here is I cap ఇలా ఉంది, j cap ఇలా ఉంది. Right? I cap plus j cap is a resultant vector of I cap and j cap. ఇది resultant vector ఉంది. Resultant vector of 1, which is I cap plus j cap. Similarly, I cap minus j cap. This is minus j, this is I. నాకు రిజల్టెంట్ కావాలి. I ఇంకా j ది రిజల్టెంట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ దిస్ వెక్టర్, డయాగనల్ వెక్టర్. ఈ డయాగనల్ వెక్టర్ ఏంటి? I and minus j ది రిజల్టెంట్ డయాగనల్ వెక్టర్. He is asking, ఏం అడుగుతున్నారు? I have to find out the magnitude of these two resultants and the angle made with x-axis. That's what he's asking. So once I draw the vectors, it's very evident. Vectors draw చేస్తే క్లియర్ గా కనిపిస్తుంది, మనకి డయాగ్రామ్ లోనే కనిపిస్తుంది. మాగ్నిట్యూడ్ కనిపిస్తుంది, యాంగిల్ కనిపిస్తుంది. What is the magnitude? From Pythagoras theorem, I can write 1 square plus 1 square under root, which is root 2. This is also same thing, 1 square plus 1 square under root, which is root 2. But angle over here would be 45 degrees with positive x-axis. This is angle 45 degrees with negative x-axis. All right. Now the next question is, there is a vector a bar 2i cap plus 3j cap. I have to find the component of this vector along I plus j and I minus j. I will find for I plus j, you find for I minus j. We have to find the component of this vector along I plus j bar. ఈ వెక్టర్ ఉంది కదా, I have to find the component of this one along this direction. That is, this is my first vector I plus j. This is 45 and this is 2 and 3. 2 and 3. This is a bar. I have to find the component of this vector along this one. So that means I have to find out. I draw a perpendicular. I have to find out this one, this length. This is I plus j. This is 45 degrees. This is 2, 3. I have to find out a cos of this angle. That angle also I don't know. So I cannot go by geometry. I'll go by algebraic method. I want a dot b is equal to a cos theta or ab cos theta. So a dot b required is a cos theta into b. Required is this. So what is a cos theta? A dot b by mod b or a dot b by b. See, if I just write the vector v without a bar on that, it's a magnitude of the vector. Is the vector, is the magnitude of the vector, is the unit vector, a cap. All right, so a dot b by b is my a cos theta. Required is to find is this. So what is a dot b? A is 2i cap, 3j cap. What is b? I plus j. So dot product of these two would be 2i cap plus 3j cap dot I plus j by mod b. What is mod b? We found out root 2. So this is the required component, a cos theta, now which is equal to, how do you define the dot product of these two vectors? Corresponding components you have to multiply. So can you tell me what is the dot product of these two vectors? 2i cap plus 3j cap, I plus j. Chepakaltara?
2i square.
That is nothing but 1, 2 plus 3
3.
by root 2.
5
which
by
is
2.
5 by root 2 is the answer. So component of vector A along I plus j is 5 by root 2. Oh, is 5 by root 2 or yeah, 5 by root 2, right? So what is the component of A along this one? I minus j. That would be
Sir, it would be same, sir. Same in magnitude, sir.
same in magnitude.
1 by root 2.
Okay, I've got the magnitude. How do I find the vector along that direction? Now magnitude వచ్చింది 5 by root 2 or 1 by root 2, some magnitude I got. That's the magnitude of the component, a cos theta. How will I find the vector in that direction? Five by root 2 times unit vector. I need a unit vector in that direction. What is the direction we are talking about? B bar. So the unit vector would be B cap. So required vector would be 5 by root 2 times B cap. What is B cap here?
Root 2, sir.
No, B cap, not mod B. I'm talking about B cap. B cap would be B bar by mod B. So B bar is I plus j by root 2. All right, students. If I just say the component, you just have to find the shadow of it, a cos theta. But if I ask you what is the vector in that direction of that magnitude, then all you have to do is find the direction. You got the magnitude already, figure out the direction, complete set will give you a vector, required vector. All right. Okay. Now let's see. Students, dot product की applications ఉన్నాయి. In work done also, in work done by a force, torque due to a force, these concepts will be dealt later. So those applications will do it that time itself when we come across the words, concepts of work and torque. So I'll give you a DPP. ఒక DPP ఇస్తాను. దాంట్లో 2 or 3 problems work done మీద ఉంటాయి. If you know the concept of work done, that's great. But if you don't know, please skip those 2 problems and do the remaining problems. All right. And that DPP is subjective type DPP. You will have solutions, detailed solutions to it. But first try the problem, then go for a solution. Question ki detailed solution kuda untundi. All right, let's see the cross product now. How do I algebraically get cross product of 2 vectors, which is ax I cap plus by j cap plus, ay j cap plus az k cap cross bx I cap plus by j cap plus bz k cap. See, what I can do in this case is I can multiply first ax I cap times cross bx I cap, ax I cap cross by j cap, ax I cap cross bz k cap. So in doing so, I'll come across I cross I cross j, I cross k, and so on. So let's understand what is this? See, when I have got 2 parallel vectors, what is A cross B geometrically and component wise? AB sine theta, right? It's AB sine theta. We have done this, right?
Yes, sir.
What is theta angle between them? If the vectors are parallel, my theta is 0. If they are parallel or anti-parallel, my theta is 0 or 180. So sine 0 or sine 180 becomes 0. So for 2 vectors which are parallel or anti-parallel, my cross product is 0. If vectors are parallel or anti-parallel, my cross product is 0. Right? And if I've got 2 vectors this way, A and B, their cross product would be A. I align my fingers in the direction of A. I sweep from A to B along the smaller angle between the two, which is this angle over here. Let's say 90. So A cross B will be in this direction. Right? So if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this gives me z-axis. Always remember, we get the z-axis using the right-hand thumb rule. Z-axis లోపల ఉండదు. Z-axis బయటనే ఉంటుంది. A cross B బయట ఉంటుంది. I cap cross j cap, k cap is outward. So I cap cross j cap will be nothing but k cap. I cross j, 1 into 1 sine 90. Sine 90 is 1. So 1 into 1 is magnitude is 1. Direction is k cap. So I get I cross j as 1 into 1 sine 90, which is k cap, into k cap, which is nothing but k cap. I cross I, they are parallel vectors. I and I are parallel vectors. So I cross I is 0. How about I cross k? I is this way, k is
G.
outward. So I cross k is I is this way, k is this way, downward. What is downward? Minus j cap. Is it clear? Why is
Yes.
it minus j cap?
Yes, sir.
J cross I. What is j cross I? J is this way.
Minus
I is right. Yeah. What is it?
minus k cap.
Yes. Good. That is minus k cap. And j cross j?
0.
0. J cross k?
I.
J cross
sir.
k. Right.
I cap.
A cap, sir.
Think.
A cap.
Think. J cross k. J cross k is
A cap, sir. A
yeah, I
bar.
cap. Right. ఇది I cap. Right. So J cross k is I cap. ఇలానే k cross I, k cross j, k cross k ఉంటుంది కదా. ఇది కూడా తొందరగా చెప్పండి. Then I'll tell you a shortcut.
K cross I j cap.
K cross I is j cap. All right. K cross j minus I cap.
K cross k 0.
K cross k is 0. So students, there is a mnemonic again, visual mnemonic. కొన్ని mnemonics ఉన్నాయి మన physics లో, but they are not that important, but quick, easy to remember. That mnemonic is like this. I write I, j, k. I cross j is k. K cross I is j. J cross k is I. I go in anti-clockwise sense. Anti-clockwise వెళ్తే I cross j is giving me the third vector k. J cross k is giving me third vector I. I cross j is giving me k. J cross k is giving me I. K cross I is giving me j. K cross I is giving me j. But if I go in anti-clockwise sense, j cross I will give me minus k. All right. Sorry, clockwise sense. J cross I will give me minus k. I cross k will give me minus j. If I go clockwise, I'll take it as negative. And if k cross j, it is giving me minus I. So with this triangle, you can remember, if you go anti-clockwise, the third vector which you get is positive. If you go clockwise, the third vector you get is negative. So I cross j is k, but k cross j is minus I. Is this clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll ask you, what is I cross k? You can tell it from this one. I cross k.
Minus j.
Minus j.
A cap.
Yeah, minus j. I cross k. I'm going clockwise, right?
Yes, sir.
If I go anti-clockwise, it's positive. I take the third vector as positive. If I go clockwise, I'll put a negative sign in front of the third vector. So j cross I
Minus k.
Minus K
minus
cap.
k. Yeah, j cross k.
I cap.
Right.
I cap.
So that's how we do. Or if at all you forget this, you have this one. This will always help you. All right. This is actually what is happening. It is three-dimensional view, three-dimensional vectors y, j, k. If I right hand rule them and చెప్పొచ్చు. But if at all you forget this or this, like one of them you have to understand. You have to understand this, you have to remember this. All right. ఇది యాంటీ క్లాక్వైజ్ క్లాక్వైజ్ అప్పుడప్పుడు మర్చిపోతే క్విక్లీ గో ఫర్ 1 or 2 ఐ క్రాస్ కే ఇక్కడ ఒకటి చేసుకోండి విల్ గెట్ ద సైన్ ఫర్ ది అదర్స్. రైట్. ఇది అర్థమైపోతుంది. ఇది అర్థమైతే ఇది గుర్తుంటుంది. ఇది అర్థం కాకుండా ఇది గుర్తుండడం కష్టం. రైట్. Alright, so let us now take the cross product of A cross B. A and B, sorry. Let's take the cross product of A and B. So which is equal to, I'll write it like this. AX, BX, I cross I, which is 0, right? Right? Students, AX I cap, BX I cap. ఇది 0 అయిపోతుంది. ఇక్కడ IJK రాసేస్తాను. So this is 0. I'll remove this. Then anyway 0. Second term is ax I cap, by j cap. So that would be ax bx, sorry, ax by I cross j. What is I cross j? K cap. Now ax bz, I cross k. What is I cross k?
minus j.
Minus
Right.
j.
Now let's go for the second one. Plus ay bx. ay bx. I've done it the first term. ax తో అయిపోయింది మొత్తం. b vector ax తో అయిపోయింది product. Now I'm bringing over the second term of a with the whole vector b. ay bx j cross i. What is j
Minus
cross i?
minus k.
minus k cap.
Minus k. Then you've got
Zero.
ay 0. Right. So I'll not write that. ay bz j cross k.
Minus I.
Aha.
I sir.
I.
I sir.
Yeah. And then plus az bx k cross i. K cross i.
K.
J.
J plus az by k cross j
Minus I.
Minus I.
plus 0. K cross k is 0. All right. This is how I can do. This is one way of doing it. But there is other way of doing it which is better. All right. The other way of doing it is this one. I'll tell you how. That's a determinant method. Then you just combine k caps, I caps, and j caps. You'll get a one complete term. Something I cap plus something j cap plus something k cap. All right. You'll get this term. And over here, all right, you'll get some plus or minus. You'll check that. So what do you get here in I cap? A by B, A by B Z, A Z B Y. A by B Z minus A Z B Y is I cap plus J cap. AX BZ, AZ BX. AX BZ,
Minus.
sorry, AZ BX minus AX BZ. All right, J cap. Similarly for K. All right, I'll not waste time in that. But what I mean to say is, doing this way and also the next method, we'll get the same result. Only thing is, the way to manipulate is different. That's determinant method. I'll tell you what is the determinant method now. I've got this two vectors I have to write down. I component, A component, K component. What are the two vectors? AX, AY, AZ. BX, BY, BZ. So these are the two vectors in component form. And this pattern of writing is called determinant form of writing. All right, expressing the vectors. Now A cross B is determinant of these two. A cross B. If I write this one line, two lines like this, that's called a determinant. All right, determinant of these two vectors is represented like this. And this is found out by a simple rule. The rule is I first take I cap. All right. When I take I cap, I write down I cap here and I have to write this component. Right.
A Y B Z.
Right. So these two become bound. These two become bound. These row and column become bound. What remains is only this. This is cross multiplied and subtracted like this. A y b z, A y
Minus
b z minus
by AZ.
b by a z. Right. So that's what I'm getting over here, I cap. Next is minus j alternately minus. This, if this is plus, this becomes minus, this becomes plus. That's what we are getting here actually. You will come to see. Minus j. So these two become bound now.
AX BZ
So these two become
BZ.
bound. What remains is ax bz,
BZ.
minus
ax bz minus
AZ
bx
ZB.
az bx, right? J cap, or j cap is written here, right? That's what we got here. See, I've written plus sign here. If I take minus out, if I take minus common, I'll get ax bz minus bx az. That's what I'm getting. Ax bz minus bx az, right? Plus k. Now
K.
this becomes bound. Now this column becomes bound.
AX BY.
AX BY minus
A
AY
cap times, yeah, ax by
Minus BX.
ky. This is easier, right? Otherwise, every time you have to think about this one and do this. But this is easier. Ultimately, the result is same. Obviously, the result has to be same. All right. Now let's find out one cross product. Look at this. There are two vectors given: 3i cap, 4j cap, minus 3i cap plus 7j cap. Yeah, what are the vectors I said? 3i cap plus 4j cap. And A cross B is nothing but the area of the parallelogram, right? That's what you have seen. If there are two vectors A and B, AB sine theta, that is nothing but the area of the parallelogram. So AB sine theta n cap is my area of the parallelogram. That's what you have seen, right? So given two vectors, if I want to find the cross product of two vectors, what it physically gives me is area of the parallelogram. That's why it's called area product. That's called projection product. Dot product is called projection product. Cross product is called area product because by definition, by geometry, it gives me the area of the parallelogram. All right. If I want the area of the triangle, what do I do? Area of this triangle. All I have to do is half of it now. So half of AB sine theta. So the other vector is what? Minus 3 minus 3i cap plus 7j cap. This will give me the area of the parallelogram. See, this area would be equal to this area. Obviously, right? And half of AB sine theta. What is A cross B? Let's find the cross product now using the determinant method. That's easier. So I've got I, J, K, 3, 4, 0, minus 3, 7, 0. So what do I get now? I is bound. I times 0, right? This and this is 0.
0.
Minus J times 0 makes sense. I'll tell you why it makes sense. Plus K times K
21.
cap, right? 21 plus 12. That is
33.
21, 33, right? Yeah. Now look at this, students. I could, without even doing this, I could only say that it is k cap. Why? Because it's lying in the xy plane. These two vectors are lying in the xy plane. 3i cap plus 4j cap and minus 3i cap plus 7j cap. These are two vectors, A and B. And they are lying in the xy plane. So the cross product will be, direction of cross product will be k cap. That's why I'm only getting k cap. So this is anyway becoming 0. So wherever possible, draw the diagram. And it makes sense. Now this is how it makes sense. Why? Because xi component and j component of the area vector are 0. Why is it 0? My area vector is in the direction of k cap, perpendicular to this plane. If this is xy plane, perpendicular to xy plane is my z axis, k cap. My area vector is perpendicular to the plane containing the vectors. Vectors are in xy plane. So my area vector will be along k cap. Some magnitude times k cap. So what is the magnitude here? 33. So what is the area of the parallelogram? 33 square units. Is it okay, students? Do you understand why it makes sense? Why only k cap is appearing here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Now the moment you see two vectors are perpendicular, what should come to your mind is dot product is 0 because cos 90 is 0. And the moment you see two vectors are parallel, what should come to your mind is cross product is 0 because sine 0 is 0. Okay. So let's say I've got two vectors, which says two vectors are 2i cap 2 3 minus 1. 2 3 minus 1 is one vector. Other vector is 4 6 minus 4 minus 4 minus 6 minus lambda. Minus 4 minus 6 minus lambda naught. All right. This is small lambda naught. This is capital lambda naught. All right. I'm using capital lambda naught. The question is, what should be lambda if these two vectors are parallel to each other? All right, perpendicular to each other first. What should be lambda if these two vectors are perpendicular to each other? What do? I take the dot product, equate it to 0 because
0, sir.
Cos 0.
what's the dot product of these two? Minus 8 minus 18 plus lambda should be equal to 0. That's the dot product of these two, right? I
Yes.
just multiply the corresponding components of I, J, and K and add them. So lambda would be, lambda naught is 18 plus 8 is 26. So lambda is supposed to be 26 if these two are to be perpendicular to each other. If these two, see, I cannot draw these vectors because they are three-dimensional vectors. So let's do it algebraically. But the point is, if this vector is this way, the other vector depends on lambda. It could be anywhere like this, right? This is perpendicular to this one. This vector is perpendicular to it only when lambda is 26. All right. But if I ask you what should be lambda such that these two vectors are parallel to each other, not perpendicular to each other. So cross product should be 0. So all I have to do is find the cross product, equate it to 0. How to find the cross product now? Determinant equating it to 0. Now this should be equal to 0. Why is it 0? Because I said they are parallel. If they're parallel, cross product is 0. If they're perpendicular, dot product is 0. Why is cross product 0? Angle between them is 0. Sine 0 is 0. AB sin theta is my cross product, magnitude of the cross product, which is sin 0 is 0, so I get cross product as 0. That's why I'm equating this determinant to 0. Only variable is lambda naught. I'll get the value of lambda naught. Let's find out what is the value of lambda naught. These two become bound. I times 2 lambda minus 2 lambda plus 12.
3 lambda, sir.
Yes, sir. 3 lambda minus
Sorry,
3.
sorry. Thank you. Minus 3 lambda plus 6, right? Plus 6 minus j cap. Now this one becomes bound. Now it is minus 2 lambda times minus
Plus
minus 4, na?
Yes, sir. Minus 4.
Minus 4 plus k cap times
minus 12
minus 12,
plus 12.
right? See, now this is equal to 0. What does it mean? That means each and every component, a vector is 0 means each and every component is 0. X component is 0, Y component is 0, Z component is 0. Z component is any variant, it is 0. All right, so K, I don't have to worry about it. So this part, K component of K is anyway turning out to be 0, I don't have to worry about it. Only thing is this and this have to be 0. See, if I choose any one, that will turn out to be 0. That's sufficient for me. But look at this, is it correct? Minus 3 lambda is not plus 6, this is minus 6. Yeah. If I equate this to 0, what do I get? Lambda naught is equal to 2. Sorry?
Minus 2 lambda we get.
Minus 2 lambda, right? Lambda naught is lambda. Any problem here? See, I can take either this one or this one. So the other one would be as a check. Let us say I've got one more variable. Then I can get these from these two equations. Two equations one was laga నేను తెచ్చుకోవచ్చు ఒకవేళ ఇంకొక వేరియబుల్ ఉంటే. But any one variable I can choose one is sufficient. If I just take one I cap times of this one, that is sufficient for me to. I don't have to go ahead with this whole thing. Time save చేయడానికి I'll just find out I cap times 3 lambda minus 3 lambda minus 6 is equal to 0. That's it. Because I component is supposed to be 0. Every component is supposed to be 0. K component is anyway 0. I and J also have to be 0. But if I is 0, I component is 0, J is also turning out to be 0. See, if lambda is equal to minus 2, if I substitute minus 2 here, I'm getting lambda, J component is also 0. Alright, so any of these two is sufficient. Any of these two will suffice. ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏదో ఒకటి సరిపోతుంది నాకు. The other is as a check. Alright. ఒకవేళ తప్పు వెళ్తే రెండు వేరియబుల్స్ వస్తాయి అనుకోండి ఏదో తప్పు జరిగింది. Alright. Okay. Now, is that clear, students? So, if they are parallel, I take the cross product to be 0. If they are perpendicular, I take dot product to be 0. All right. Now, let us talk of, is it clear, students? Cross product clearer? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, let's talk of division of vectors, and let's see why is division not defined. Division of vectors is not defined at this level. Intermediate level low, division of vectors is not defined. But small changes in the representation of a vector, division of vectors is also defined at graduate level. All right, sure, Umar. I'll do it again. All I had was two vectors, right? I had two vectors. Can you tell me the two vectors which I had? Two? You can unmute and speak, Umar, so that that's easy for me. See, if at all I miss this chat, you can speak so that I will not miss your point. All right, unmuting and speaking is better. All right, that's what we do. All right, so what are the two vectors I have? Okay, I'll just complete this division of vectors and come back to this question again. All right. Okay, let's say, students, I've got two vectors for which, and I told you, product of two vectors are two products only, dot product only, cross product only. Result of a cross product is a vector, whereas the result of a dot product is a scalar. That is why నేను two real numbers ని multiply చేస్తే నాకు real number రావాలి. కానీ ఇక two vectors ని multiply చేస్తే నాకు scalar వస్తుంది. So that's not a true product, they say. Cross product is considered to be a true product because two vectors ni multiply cheste, I'm getting a third vector. Result as a vector. So that's a true product. True product. Now let's say I've got A bar cross B bar. Follow this carefully. A bar cross B bar is my result C bar, C naught bar. So if I define a vector, we define division of vectors, then if I divide C bar by A bar, I should get it as B bar, right? That's what I should get it, right? Then divide cheste, division define cheste, I should get ultimately B bar. C bar or C by B, I should get A, or C by A, I should get B. But if I define vectors, division of vectors, I should get C bar by A bar as B bar. Let us see, do we get it or not? So what am I supposed to get? C bar by A bar is B bar, is what I'm supposed to get. Now, this is A bar, for instance, and this is B bar. Now what I do, A cross B is C bar this way, right? A cross B, C bar this way, obviously. Then C by A cheste na B rawali. Alright? Geometrically, let's forget about it right now. What I do, I consider third vector B bar, fourth vector B bar, such that, look at this. I consider a vector like this. On this line, I consider another vector like this. V bar, such that V minus B or B minus V is A parallel to A bar, such that B minus V is parallel to A bar. I'm considering a vector V bar. Alright, this is little theoretical. It'll just take a minute, but you understand why it is not defined. I'm trying to show that division of vectors is not defined. We cannot define division of vectors. That's what I'm trying to prove. So B bar minus V bar is parallel to A bar. Look at this diagram. If I take V bar from here to here, on this line to this head of V bar, so B bar minus V bar minus V bar is parallel to A bar. If it is parallel to A bar, I can do cross product and say cross product is 0. Whenever two vectors are parallel, my cross product is 0. A cross B minus V should be 0. Is it clear? Is the point clear? Is the step clear? I have selected a vector V bar. I can select any damn vector, right? But I have selected such that V minus V is parallel to A. So tail of V is on line of action of A, head of V is on B, head of B. So B minus V is A bar. All right? It's parallel to A bar. That means A cross B minus V is equal to 0. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
ఇది ఎందుకు 0 అవుతుంది? Because B minus V is parallel to A bar. Parallel to A bar, two parallel vectors are parallel and A cross that vector will be 0. Now I'll distribute it. Distributive property use chesi. A cross B minus A cross V equal to 0. So A cross B is equal to A cross B వస్తుంది నాకు. But I know A cross B is nothing but C bar. So if I write C bar by A bar, I'm getting B bar, or is it V bar? So I'm getting an ambiguity here. So there's no unique solution to this. There's no unique answer to this one. There's no unique answer to division of vectors. Look at this. Now C bar by A bar divide cheste B bar ravali. If at all I can define division of vector, A cross B is C, so C by A should be B. But what am I getting here? For some random vector which is coming into picture, that is also coming into result. So that is how I'm getting it as B bar or V bar. So any vector with this condition is a solution to this one. Let's say I've got V2, another vector V2 here, or V1. V bar minus V1 is parallel to A bar. So I'll get this as V1. So I got V1, V2, and so on. There are infinite number of possibilities. So there is no uniqueness in the solution. That is why division of vectors is not defined at this level. But if at all someone asks you, is it not defined at all? No, division of vectors are defined and they are called quaternions. At graduate level, you will understand what is quaternions. But as of now, division of vectors at this level is not defined. Small change in the representation of vectors will help me define division of vectors. That is not required. But did you understand why division of vectors is not defined?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Because we are getting a uniqueness issue here. There is a uniqueness problem. This solution is not being unique. నాకు ఒక యూనిక్ సొల్యూషన్ కావాలి. A cross B చేస్తే C వచ్చింది, C by A చేస్తే B రావాలి. But I'm not getting B, I'm getting infinite solutions to B, to C by A. So C by A cannot be defined with this representation of vectors. All right. Okay, students. Omar, the question which you haven't understood. Attendance form is to be sent, is to be filled, student. Attendance form fill chesi. We'll end the class now. You please fill the attendance form. Do not forget to fill the attendance form. That's mandatory. All right. We'll get to know your attendance, and that's very much required for your future measurement of performance. All right. Thank you all, students. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.
You, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, students, while you join the meeting, next we have the another class, chemistry. Everyone join, and while you join the meeting, please join with your name. కొంతమంది మొబైల్ ఫోన్ నేమ్స్ తో జాయిన్ అవుతున్నారు. అలా కనిపిస్తే రిమూవ్ చేసేస్తాము. Okay, please remember you have to join with your name, rename yourself. And also fill the attendance form. It is must and should. కంపల్సరీగా అటెండెన్స్ ఫామ్ ఫిల్ చేయాలి. Otherwise, you will be considered as absent. Okay? So I'll start the next class. Please join the 6 to 7 class.